I said I was going to do a round 2, and a round 2 I shall be doing. This is going to be my second breakdown of the Venom Venom Last Dance movie, and why I say it's a trash movie.
Damn, son.
In my first review, I did say this movie didn't beat Flash as the worst or one of the worst superhero movies so far.
Nice.
But Flash remains number 1 from the DC universe as the worst superhero movie so far, and I pray no other movie climbs to meet it. Yeah. This, though, feels like it's the third. So I don't know what other superhero movie they're going to release to make the second position. For me, though, Flash is the first superhero movie, the first worst superhero movie so far. Venom The Last Dance is the third. This is my ranking. For some of you, it might not be the same way I've ranked it, but this is my ranking. Woo! Now, let's get into why this movie is trash. And because I've recorded so many clips, I'm going to have to split this video into 3, maybe 4. So this is the second one. There's a third one coming, and I'm hoping that'll be the last video.
No, God!
The same way I did the Flash breakdown, it's the same way I want to give this enough time and attention and show you why I really abhor this movie.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
So now this clip we're about to watch, this gave me an inkling as to what this movie was going to be. I don't know how much they paid Tom Hardy, and maybe because he was under contract, he had to do the third movie. Cool. I don't know how Hollywood really works. All I know is what we hear sometimes. I've never interviewed any actor, actress, director, producer, Hollywood exec, blah, blah, blah. All I know about certain ins and outs of Hollywood so far is through one person or the other person or this magazine or this post or this video or this Instagram, so on. And you get the gist. You get the gist. Or maybe an actor exposes certain things that goes on behind closed doors that no one knows. And then we're all, better for it because now we know. The first Venom film was fine because that's the first one. So you're learning how the audience is going to receive you. You're throwing in some humor here and there. But I wish that movie really took time to break down the lore of Venom bit by not everything, just enough for the audience to say, okay, now I get what this thing is, where it's going. I'm saying all this to say the anatomy of Venom. I don't know. I don't want to say we don't know. I don't know. I don't understand his genetic makeup. And the thing I'm specifically talking about is his eating, his digestion or digestive system, how he eats and what he needs to eat. And what did he eat, or what did all the symbiotes eat on their planet?
Don't ask questions.
It'd have been cool if there was a proper conversation between Venom and Brock, Hardy's character, where they would say, or where a discussion would be like, there's certain things I can eat on Earth that have similar nutritional values to certain things on my planet. That makes, because it just gives you more scope as to why he eats certain things on this planet, because it has similar nutritional values to the symbiote's planet. Also, you could throw in, a few jokes here and there. I can't eat all these burgers and McDonald's and French fries, almost stating that this alien entity prefers to eat things that have pure high energy because they don't have any fast food, fake synthetic foods on his planet. Do they have houses, or because they're all goo? So how do they live? Even this third movie would have been the movie where we get to see all that, not just through flashbacks and whatnot, but we get to see it properly, Or they could have done it in the second one. So you set up the first one, people are asking questions. I wonder how. You don't have to answer everything, but you just want to get a sense of how the symbiote works, because there's the whole, it can't bond with everyone. It has to find the right host. And then there's a parasitic thing where it feeds off the host. So even all those things as well, you really want to get into, in depth into it. So that way we can look forward to the second and third movie. I feel the first movie should have started with some aspects of that, led into the second movie. And then the third movie, when things start to happen, we already know where it's almost like we are Venom. We're competent enough to know what the Venom is capable of, what the symbiotes are capable of, and what other symbiotes are capable of based on finding the right host they bond with. And is it that the Venom symbiote decided to change his genetic composition and makeup, meaning it chose not to feed off Eddie anymore. You know, because they introduced the god that made these symbiotes in this third movie, but they didn't even have the respect of the audience to break down how this god made this or this deity or this entity made these symbiotes, or why. This is why you should have started with the first one, sprinkled some Easter eggs, explain more things in the second one whilst, you know, a new villain is arising, and then when you do the third one, okay, now we have an idea of certain things about the Venom and the symbiote's world. We know the third one is going to bring in the god or their maker, or maybe they didn't even have to. Maybe they change a lot of stories or storylines mid-writing, because this feels like a patch job, just putting things together, hoping it makes sense, almost like pulling things from the different story or different script that they wrote that was partly scrapped and partly kept alone for safekeeping, another story partly scrapped and part, you know, it's just a combination of so many different things, and there's a lot of things in this movie that did not need to be. There's having fun and being funny because your first two movies were funny. Ain't nobody saying don't throw in humor. No one is saying that. But for the love of Ra, not everything has to be dumb humor. There's some things that even occur that is not even funny. It's like, dude, you know that you've just done a nefarious thing right there. But you know what? Don't worry, we'll get into it. Just like I did with The Flash, we'll get into it. So this is the first shot. Or not the first, but this is part of the first, the intro of the movie, where my mind was like, hey, get ready. This is not going to be what you think it's going to be. Even the trailers let me know, okay, cool, we see where they're going. But at least when they introduced the god or their deity, I thought, okay, it's about to get spicy up in here. It's about to get real, you know?
It's here and I like it.
My head hurts. I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm also hungover at the same time.
Eddie, you want a Bloody Maria?
So now all this stuff, all this. Look at this.
I don't want to drink.
Look at this.
Stop!
Look
You
at
are
this.
destroying this man's bar.
And that is it for us today.
This is the third movie, and Venom is acting like a spoiled, I don't want to say brat or child, like a misbehaved dog.
What?
That's the best analogy I have. This just feels like a stubborn, spoiled, stupid dog. This is the third movie, meaning by now, you and I, as Eddie Brock and Symbiote, would have a symbiotic relationship whereby we know what to do and what not to do. Maybe on planet Symbiote, they like to destroy and smash things, so there's no order on planet Symbiote. Everything is just all over the place, and they know exactly where things are. Cool. This isn't planet Symbiote. This is Earth. Not only that, when I talk to you, I talk out loud to you, and I'm looking like a weirdo to others who obviously can't hear you because you're in my head. So there has to be, these are the things where you're throwing in the humor. I'd have loved to have seen some scenes where they sit down and say, you know what, we got to find a way how to talk to each other, and so that way I don't look stupid or weird in public. I know he brought it up in the previous two movies in certain different scenes, but they could have at least cleaned it up. You want humor? Throw in humor by addressing certain things that are really obvious in his reality, not just because we're watching it, but in his reality. What does it look like with an alien creature in my psyche that only I can hear his voice? Do they make love, or are they made the way they are so they can't replicate? The two symbiotes can't come together, merge, and like a black one and a pink one, and come out with some weird amalgamation of different colors. Like how do they copulate? How do they make love? Do they have love? Do they have compassion? Do they have joy? These are the things they can have really touched upon, so much so that they could have even made a fourth movie if they took time to respect the audience and the lore. I don't know what the storyline of Venom is from the comic books. All I know about Venom is from the Spider-Man cartoon, the old school one. So aside from that, the only story I know about Venom is from the cartoons, and he was a mean, son of a gun in that cartoon. Very, very mean and maniacal and vindictive. The studios have chosen to go a different route, maybe similar to some aspect of the original comics. Or maybe the original story of Venom, he was a villain and then they changed him in the future. I don't know what happened in the comics, but we, the viewers who have never read the comics, you got to find a way to keep balance on the screen for those of us who don't know anything about no comic book or no Spider-Man relation. Some of us don't even care about that shit.
Damn, son.
We're here for your movie. Make it make sense. All this destruction, he's not going to clean this up.
I ain't coming for no foolishness.
This is why I said spoiled dog. You're being told you're destroying the man's place. You don't give a shit. Visually, this is very irritating just to watch. Imagine Superman doing this. Imagine Green Lantern doing this. Imagine Captain America doing this. Or Iron Man, or Loki, or any other superhero we're so used to, especially from the Marvel Universe. This is wrong. And yes, Venom is none of these characters, but the third movie, you don't know how to operate in come on. Nah. The other things you can put in as quirks that are funny from the first and second movie that you don't remove. But you don't come into another man's place of business or home and destroy the whole thing. This is a pattern that carries on in the movie. This is it's so visually jarring because my brain is like, what are we looking at here?
I like this one.
It'd have been cool if Eddie and Brock had this relationship like in Matrix, where Eddie would have struggled to learn certain things in time or in the time that he wanted to learn, just like when Neo learned Kung Fu.
Oh, shit.
Because he's learning it on the fly. He's not having to go to a studio or dojo, every 2 days in the week or 3 days in the week. He can improve his fighting capacity and capabilities under 3 hours or less, depending on the person's mind and body, depending on how they download the information, quite literally. So this would have been a cool aspect to throw into the connection and bond between Eddie and Brock. Maybe Eddie struggles to read some books, maybe, or even listen to music or learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah, Mikey, I think he likes it. How about some more?
Hell yes.
So you want humor, you want people to laugh, that's where you throw in the humor. Eddie is short or shorter than the average height for playing basketball. And not only because Venom can help him, but he watches the screen and downloads that information and translates it into the neurons of Eddie. Because you're saying it's a symbiotic relationship. So now these two are literally one. Eddie learns things faster, better. He can speak different languages or multiple languages. Maybe they introduced that in the first and second one. These are the things you build up on. Maybe he wasn't a good gamer before. He has some humor part. He wasn't a good gamer before in the first one. He learns how to game in the second one. And he beats a few people online, goes to some tournaments. Something. You got to show us a plus. More pluses, not just because Eddie's practically or technically kind of immortal, because if the Venom symbiote sees he's about to die, he heals him a lot. So, but we need more. The immortality thing is nice. It's a beautiful touch. Grounded in sensible, competent, more accessible humor. If I was an alien entity, I would want to make my host feel like me and it, or it and I bonding together. The benefits far outweigh the cons. The pros far outweigh the cons. You learn languages faster. Your memory is stronger. We can help you heal childhood trauma. You can relive things in your mind far better. When you dream, maybe Eddie used to have nightmares about some thing chasing him, but now he's bonded with the Venom. When he has those dreams, he activates the Venom suit. He no longer has nightmares. He used to go to therapy, but now Venom helps him with that dialogue. They're both talking, and this could have really been something so epic to the extent that you'd be like, yo, I would like to get me one of them symbiotes. Do you know? You want to make it feel like, how does it look? How would it look if you want to be in that situation? You want to be the one that has the Venom symbiote. You probably be like, yeah, I like the way Brock and symbiote, Brock and Venom are working certain things out. But if I was in his shoes, I would use it like this. You want to do that. This doesn't make me want to have Venom as a symbiote because this is jarring. This is just third movie in. You can pull this shit off if it's the first movie. Even the first movie, no, the second movie when he was making eggs at some, is it the first or second one? I think it's the second one. He was making eggs in the apartment. It was just so much mess all over the place. You're trying to convince the audience that this alien entity has been around for a very long time. I'm assuming this symbiote and its planet are far older than human beings and the whole entire planet itself.
Here we go.
So we're saying pre-dinosaurs? Pre-Earth's creation? We don't know. Because they introduced a god in this film. So if a god exists, that means the supreme maker who's made other gods made that god that created these creatures. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. So with the Venom being an ancient entity, why is it acting like a fool? There's no balance where it comes from. And even if it's all disorderly and carnage, where it comes from, cool. You've been on Earth for a year. It's like a give and take. You're no longer on planet Symbiote, and Eddie is no longer normal. So we got to find a balance where you just can't come here and blah, blah, blah. You got to learn the way things operate over here as well. Messy is not the way. So even that too can be a growing process where he becomes clean and meticulous. You know what? What else can I do since I've learned how to be clean and more orderly? Then Eddie's like, oh, I wish I could learn how to speak this or learn. That's how you show, yo, I've not bonded with any species or entities such as you, even though you're human and other entities or other creatures I've bonded with are far more superior. Like if the Venom came across the Xenomorph entity, would they bond? Or Xenomorph alien? If the Venom symbiote came across the Predator alien, would they bond? So what is the bonding compatibility ratio? Every creature, all aliens in the galaxy, or if it can Venom bond with a fly?
I don't know what that means.
Can Venom bond with microorganism, or does it have to be a huge being as big as Xenomorph or the aliens from Tomorrow War, or human being, or what do you call it, the Predator? These are things that you could have easily sprinkled in your first movie and your second movie. Then you set it up for the third one, so that way when this god dude comes, we know what's about to pop off. Just a fucking waste of infinite ways to tell a story. All these people care about is money and your attention. And they don't even respect you enough to write a good enough, competent story where you can part with your money and your attention.
You don't understand.
Killer! I'm having the time of my life.
Look at this. Look at this. Now, if Eddie always stated, maybe he did in the first movie or second movie, right? I've forgotten. If he stated, I wish one day I knew how to make margaritas or whatever that drink is called. I don't know why I did this, but shaking the, you know what I mean?
Show me.
Maybe just like Doctor Strange, when Strange was sleeping, he was astral projecting, reading all the books. Maybe Venom could have done something similar to Eddie. As Eddie slept, Venom stayed awake to watch those videos on loop and just download the information. And because the synapses in Venom's genetic makeup and how old and intelligent he is, but still hint at, yo, you think you got it bad. Some other planets got it far worse. Some. And I'm not trying to say it's okay to suffer here. I'm not playing that game. But those are little things you could have put in, you know? Oh, you think you're stressing so much. Look at your world. Maybe even help him see the world differently and much better. For the love of Ra. So this is scene 1. This is the intro into the movie that let me know, okay, now we know what to hint for. Now let's go to the second clip real quick, please.
A few moments later.
So this is supposed to be their god, their deity. This is not the supreme maker of all things in the galaxy. This is their god, right? Ooh, my camera is low on battery. Hold on, uno momento.